if any of the class wants to compare with their objects based on the age or based on the ID or based on the salary, whatever the parameter you consider for the sorting, so that class should implement comparable interface. Should implement comparable interface. Why? Because your class Java classes does not have their own comparison mechanism, but there are some predefined classes. Your string by default it can compare. Your wrapper classes like integer, float, double, these classes they can compare themselves by default because they are already implemented this comparable interface. They are also like normal classes, but they are already implemented because those are given by your Java. So now whatever the classes you are going to create, either it can be employee, either it can be a student, or it can be something else, you are writing a code. You are writing a code for your object or your class. That object should be, if you are sorting based on the ID, student IDs or student the names, so you should, the student class should have a mechanism. Oh, this guy is going to compare me with other guy, so I should have a comparison mechanism. I should have a comparison mechanism. So for that, your class, while designing your class itself, you have to specify. While designing a class itself, guys, look at this point is very much important to show the difference between other comparator. Okay, the class should define, while designing your classes should define himself. I can compare with this only, I can compare with ID only, or I can compare with the name only. So you have to define it while designing your class itself, while designing your class itself. So let's say yesterday we have seen some small example. So yesterday we have seen some small example. So this is something else I was doing for other class. Let's look at our, this is what, right, this is what we are doing. So this class is saying that yes, I am comparable with ID only. So what, when you are defining this, while defining your class itself you are defining it, while declaring your class itself you are defining it. So it means this class, suppose I have created a job object for this class. So I have released my project. I have released my project. So in my project they are using comparable demo. Let's assume the comparable is not, demo is nothing but here. Comparable demo is nothing but employee class. Let's assume that. So there they have another class called, they have other class called. Let me show you here only. Let me show you here only. Okay. They have other class called. Let me put this Veera. Let me put this Ravi. Let me put this Kumar. So here 100, here 110, 110, and this is, let's say 99. So this is, let's say it's Ravi. Let's say it's Kumar. It's Kumar. Now, now I want to compare these objects. So how will I compare? So you can say dot compare to method, because the compare to method anyway it's available, right? So now system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println. I'm just showing a small comparison, then I will show you one example how it will be. Okay, compare Veera and Ravi. How will you compare? So here Veera dot compare to, Veera dot compare to, I have to pass object, no? I have to pass an object, no? I'm passing Ravi object. So as soon as I did this, what will happen? It will compare based on what? It will compare based on what? It will compare based on the ID, because I have written the logic such a way that if this ID equal to this ID, return 0. If ID is greater than this ID, return 1. This ID is else, you return -1. This is the logic I have written. This is the logic I have written. Now let's go ahead and compile this code and run this code. Or let me turn off it. Let's see. It is written -1. It is written minus 1. It means minus 1 is, yeah, it is minus 1 only, correct. Why? Because this id we're comparing with this. So this id is less than this id. This id less than this id. So that's why it's minus 1. That's why it is a minus 1. So let's assume that this is 100 only. This is also 100. Let's look at now what will happen. Let's look at now what will happen. It will return 0 because both the IDs are equal. Let's assume that your Vira is 110 or 101. Let's assume that Vira is 101. Let's execute this command. Your ID is your value is 1. So what is your comparing objects and you are returning 0, 1, minus 1? What is this, sir? I didn't understand. So why I'm returning 0, 1, minus 1? So very simple reason, guys. Very simple reason. Now I want to sort. I want to sort the elements. For the sorting algorithm, it is sorting based on the IDs. Okay. So when it's sorting based on the IDs, if when I'm sorting Veera with Ravi, if I get a 0, it means that both are equal. I no need to worry about the who has to come first. So either Ravi can come first or Veera can come first. No problem at all. Because both IDs are equal. If the both are equal. If the Veera ID is greater than Ravi ID, if the Veera ID is greater than Ravi ID, so now if I'm doing this ascending order, right? Ascending order means the small one will come first, a bigger one will go down. So now when I'm comparing Veera ID with Ravi ID, it gives me positive 1. Positive 1. It means positive 1 is greater than 0. Positive 1 is greater than 0. So 0 has to go up, 1 has to go come down. It means the Ravi will go up in the sorting order and Veera will go next. So then why minus 1? That's what. Suppose if I'm comparing Veera with Ravi with Kumar, let's assume that. So now Ravi is 100, Ravi's ID is 100, Kumar ID is 99. It means Ravi ID is greater than the Ravi ID is greater than Kumar ID. Ravi ID is greater than Kumar ID. So in this case, so when I compare this, so what will happen? It will give me a minus 1. Okay. If it is Ravi ID is greater than Kumar ID, so what it will do? It will give me positive 1. Let's assume that I'm comparing with the Kumar with Ravi, reverse way, else other part. So in this, Kumar is less number and Ravi has a bigger number. I mean more number. So in this case, it will give minus 1. So the minus 1 is lesser than your 0. So again it will go back, it will go to sort in the sorting order. Okay, the first Kumar has to come, next Ravi has to come, next Veera has to come. So it will sort internally like that. So look at, guys, so I'm going to write a small code here to demonstrate the same. The code is like, I'm going to take a list, or if you guys have I know we not yet talked about the lists and sets all. So let me show you something here. I'm going to write a small list, which is list student list equal to new. So you can also specify the generic type. So I'm going to specify the generic type comparable. What is this? Because it's asking me to import the which you utility want. So just import statement, not to don't worry. Student new array list. Guys, I know some people may not understand what I'm doing, so don't worry. So I'll explain you detailedly when we are talking about the collections. So this is nothing but a collection array list. It's like your array. Simple is to remember, it is like your array. Now in this array I'm going to put all these objects. Student dot add. So I have something called add. So to add into my array, I have something called add method. So here I'll add first I'll add Let me add jumbled way. Okay, first let me add Vera. Then only I'll show you the sorting, how it will get sort. Dot add, then let me add Kumar. Then let me add Ravi. Okay, now I have added all these three. Now I have added all these three. Now I need to sort them. By default, it will not sort internally. There are some other collection objects or collection classes who will sort them while inserting only. But I'm not. This array list is not by default sorted. So I'm going to use something called collections class. We'll talk more about it later. So it has something called sort method where I can pass my student, my array list, where I can pass my student array list. So after sorting it, so let me print before sorting it. System.out.println before sort array list. You can look at here. So I can say student. I can say student here. I don't know why my tool today it is not working properly. So I'm taking one more here after sort. After sort. Okay. Forget about this first statement. Okay, you can also keep it. It's not a problem. It will not make you any difference. So let's go ahead and compile this code. Okay, very good. So can anyone tell me why I got this like this? Can anyone tell me why it came like this? Anyone? Let me make it bigger. Very good. Very good. Who is that? Okay. So why it is giving me the some hash code, a class name at the rate or something, because my comparable demo class is an object. I'm trying to print the object into console. If I'm trying to print the object into console, that class should have a toString method. So let me override the toString method. It's pretty simple, guys. Right click on your go to source, just say generate toString method. So generate toString method. So you can just say okay here. And what I'm going to do here, I don't want this comparable demo. Anyway, I know it is going to be a comparable demo. So I'm not going to keep all this stuff. I'm removing this. I don't need it. I don't need it. And I need only ID, ID. I need only comma, after ID some comma. Before that also I don't need the brackets, but let's have a bracket. I'll just need a one flower bracket or a square bracket. So name, I don't need to say it's the salary equal to something. So just remove this, and you can have something, you can delete it like this. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting. So I need after bracket a small space and before bracket of the small space. So then it looks me a no, clear understanding thing. Now look at here. Before sorting, it gives me what are the way I inserted. What are the way I inserted. So if you look at here, the way I inserted, the first what I inserted, guys, Veera, oh sorry, not here. Veera, Kumar, Ravi. This is the way I inserted. You can see the output here, Veera, Kumar, and Ravi. That's the way it is get inserted. But after sorting, you look at guys here, 99 came first, Ravi came next, Veera came next. Why? Why it happened? Because you have provided along with this class, you have provided comparative method. You have provided a comparative method. You have provided a comparative method such a way that you compare based on the ID. You compare based on the ID. So now let's look at, guys, I want to show you a small difference. Okay, I'm going to take something called app. App means application. Okay, app. I'm going to create something called app. Okay, app. Sorting app. Let's say sorting app. Sorting app. So I need a main method here. Yes, I don't need any superclass. I don't need anything. Just go here. Just print it. So now here, delete this. Now I'm going to create. I'm going to create multiple students like a comparable demo. So before, what are the comparable demo I have, right? So let me copy the same code, and the app also I'll be showing you the same code. I can use the same code. If you don't like to use the same code, what you can do, let me show you that. What you can do, copy only this part, go to this one, paste it here, but you need to have what is Vera and all. Instead of here, you can directly say orphan objects. You can create orphan objects. These are called non-referenced objects. So like this, you can create non-referenced objects like this. Okay, that's up to you guys how you create, how you test it. So here I'm going to say I need ID. I can say ID is this, and can give some name here. I can give the same thing. What are the tests I have? So now my question is something is going to different. Okay, let me don't take orphan objects. Let me take the same. So that way I can explain you better way. Shit. Sorry. Okay, let me copy everything from here. Let me copy everything from the main method. I want to show you something. I'm going to show you what is the limitation of your comparable interface. That is the my intention is. So I'm going to show you the limitation of comparable interface. So don't worry, I'm showing you the same code. Don't worry about that, but I'm going to show something different here. And the Ravi cannot be here. Let's say it is Java. Let's say this is 1000. Let's say this is Java. We forget about the salary. So salary also can take such a way that, so 1000 is 1000, some 4 digits here and some 2 digits here. You can also take this way, J to E. You can say here it is 1010. You can say J to E, and you can say it is something. You can say like this, and you can say Hadoop. You can say here it is. You can do anything. I have taken a very big number. Hadoop, you can take, because the salary is more if you learn Hadoop, right? So I'm taking the more salary. So now I'm going to add three more elements into this. Three more elements into this. In this, three elements are like Java, J2E, Hadoop. Okay. Look at guys. Look at guys. I'm going to compile this code. Compile and run this code. I compiled and run this code. So to understand this, look at here. The first, before sort, what are the way I inserted, the same way it is printed, but the second time, so it is printed different way, right? By sorting the based on the sorting ID, based on the sorting ID. Now all of a sudden my application requirement is changed. My application requirement is changed. So no, I don't want the sorting on based on the ID. I want the sorting based on the name. So can anyone give me a solution for this? This, look at guys, this class source code is not available with me. That's why I created app. This comparable class source code is not available with me because it is came from some other application, or it can be some other jar it came, or it can came from, or it can came from some other program. All right. So I don't have a source code of this comparable demo. So now I don't want my sorting algorithm based on ID. I want the sorting algorithm based on name. So can anyone give me solution for this? Whenever I do a sorting, whenever I do a sorting, the sorting is happening based on ID. But now my application requirement is changed. Now I don't want to have a sorting algorithm based on the ID. I want the sorting algorithm based on the name. How will I do that? How will I do that? Can anyone help me to solve this problem? So you may say that, sir, you go to comparable demo class. It's as simple as that. No, why you are worrying, sir? You go to comparable demo class. You change the compare algorithm here. You change the comparable this class here. You override the class. You change the code. Can I override one? Can I override one more time with a different same name? I cannot override. So option one is left down. So other ones are you go to that class and you change here only. Don't compare the ID. You compare the name. But but the source code is not available with me, no, because it is coming from some other application. Let's say how you are using system class, how you are using collection class. Let's say how you are using your array list class. Do you have option to change your array list class? Can you change your array list class? Can you modify array list class? I don't have option. I cannot do that. Those are given by someone. Those are given by some jar. The same way, there may be a chance your comparable or something is coming from some different source or someone is giving you in the form of jar files. Then how will you do that? Can we do that? Do we have option to do that? Anisha, Ganesh, Harika, Raghu, we have option. Can you tell me how to do that? Anisha, are you there? I mean, are you guys able to hear me? Ganesh, Harika, Keshav.
Yes, Veera, I can hear, but I don't know how to do that.
Harika is telling string list. What is a string list? Oh, like array list you are telling the string list, huh? Harika?
By using the string.compare,
Huh?
by using the string.compare and giving the object names.
Where you'll do that? I don't have access to this code. Comparable demo, I don't have that class. So let's assume that the class is not it there. It is coming from the jar. It is coming like your array list. Do you have a source code of array list? You don't have a source code of array list. The same way I don't have a source code of comparable demo. If I have a source code of comparable demo, okay, there is something I can go into log inside the class. I can change it. But the day after tomorrow again they ask me to buy ID. Again I need to change, which is a very bad habit or which is a very dirty code, which is a very dirty thing, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
limitation of your comparable interface. So if you are designing a comparable interface, who is going to implement, you can provide natural sorting by only one. Either it can be ID or name or salary or any of the field, only one. You cannot compare multiple ways. So today I want ID, tomorrow I want name, day after tomorrow I want salary, something else I want. You cannot do that using comparable interface. You cannot, in the sense it is not like you have to write again, you have to reconstruct the class again, you have to remodify your class. Suppose if I want to change my sorting algorithm uh, based on the name, what I need to do, I need to reconstruct this code. I need to change my all this logic here. I need to change all complete logic here, right? Which I don't want to do. That's a bad habit, right? So today you are asking for ID, tomorrow you are asking for a name, again you will go change. You again day after tomorrow you are asking salary, again you are changing. No, this is very, no, it's not a good way of the simple programs for the demo, for the normal learning purpose and all we can do, but in the real time it's very wired. We will not do that. In the real time, we will not do that. For that, to solve this kind of problem, Java come up with something called Java come up with something called comparator. comparator. Comparator is also an interface that is not from the Java language, Java lang package, not Java language, it is from the Java language only, not from Java lang package. Your comparable is, if you look at here, the comparable interface is from, it is from, if you look at here, it is not showing, it should show somewhere. It is from Java, java.lang package. It is from java.lang package. So it is from java.lang package. There is something called comparator. Comparator. That comparator class is from util package, like this. It is like this. There is something called comparator which is from util package, which is from util package. Let's have a list, a simple demo, and how it will work. By seeing the program itself you'll understand. Let me write a small class. In this class I'm going to take compare demo. I'm going to take it as a comparator demo. Comparator demo, which I need public main class. Comparator demo. So this time guys, actually it should show such a way that uh, even comparable demo also it can be shown such a way that you can have some student class or employee class or something. Then that employee class you will create in the main method, but here we are doing everything in a single class. So this time let me make it to two different classes for the easy understanding. Here I'm doing, okay, so let me do it class employee compare, compare employee. So employees already exist, that's the problem. It's already exist. Let me check whether it's allow me to create. Yep, it's allow me to create. Int id, string name, double salary, right? I need a constructor here as same as your comparable demo class, but I have now I have separated my business, my actual class, and my test class. So my compare demo will be kind of a test class now. So sorry, which I created. Right click, go to source, select with the super field with the fields. What is this? I am not able to create a constructor for this. Oh, right click, using fields. Okay, I have selected wrong one. Using fields, finish. Constructor is created. The same time I need the toString method also, guys. So toString method anyway I have already in the other class. Let me bring that. So already I modified, that's why. So whatever I need I have modified in that format. So let me bring this. Let me bring this. Yep, good. Now does it, I mean, do I implement a comparable interface here? Do I implemented comparable I mean comparator interface here? No, I will not. I will not implement here. I will not implement here. I will not implement here. What I will do, guys, everything I'm writing in a single file because you guys need to understand it can be different files. Now your employee can be a different file. Now your employee can be a different file. Now your employee can be different file, or what are the class I'm going to can be that with different file. Your comparator demo, which is nothing but app, comparing app, that can be a different file. It can be different. Okay, those can be different files. But here for demonstrating you to make you understand clearly, I am making in a single class because I can easily drag and drop. I'm like go up and come down like okay. I can easily do that. That's why I'm writing in a single file. So tomorrow you can also, it's not because of we're writing the single file it's working differently. No, if you write as similar as your comparable interface or how you did before, the same way we write also it will work. Because to make you very much clear, because I have shown other way, now I'm showing a different way. That's the only difference. Okay, now I'm writing class. Now I'm writing a class to compare based on the id, based on the id comparator implements comparator implements comparator. I'm not going to take comparable interface which is from the Java lang. I'm taking comparator which is from the util package. Okay, so as I said, it is, you can leave it or you can say id comparator. You can say id comparator. If you remember, yesterday I have already explained this, right? Now it is what it is telling. It has some method. You need to implement that method. So what is that method? Compare method. What is that method? Compare method. Guys, the logic is same. The logic is same. The logic will not change. The logic is same. Your comparable comparative method and compare method, the logic is same, similar. The logic will not change. This logic is same. But here the main logic is same. That's why I'm copying only that main logic. If you observe, your compare method is expecting two objects. Expecting two objects. Why it is expecting two objects? Because your ID comparator is a different class than your student class. Yes or no? Your ID comparator class is different class than your ID employee class. Your employee class. That's why I need both now. Before it was in a single class. Before both are in the same class. That's why I'm using this keyword. So I can use this when I'm in the current, when I'm comparing with a different current object or current variable or current method or so if I'm in the same class I can use this. If I'm outside the class I have to use it with a proper name. I have to use it with a proper name. So here, as I said, you can specify your ID comparator or you can specify employee. So or you can leave it. So I have to specify with employee because I'm going to compare with employee. I'm going to compare with employee. Okay. Now I'm going to compare with the employee. So here EMP1 and here EMP2. Here I cannot use this. I cannot use this. I have to use employee 1 and employee 2 explicitly. I have to tell explicitly employee 1.id and I have to specify employee 2.id because now I'm comparing two different. Now I'm comparing two different, right? I have to specify emp1 dot emp2.id, emp1.id, emp2.id. So I have to explicitly specify this. This class is meant for comparing IDs. IDs. This class is basically meant for comparing IDs. This class is mainly meant for comparing IDs. Guys, try to understand. It's a very simple one. So the actual Pojo or actual class will not have a implements. The actual class will not have a implements. Your comparator class, which are the way you want to compare, you are creating a separate object for that. You are creating separate object for that. If you see, you are creating separate object for that. If you see there, you are doing separate object for that. So now let me go with this other object. So now it is ID comparator. I want, okay, let me demonstrate with this only. We will see that later. The same, let me copy from here. So I don't want to waste a little time by writing the code because anyway it is same code. Anyway, it's the same code. Let's go here in the main method. Now this your compare demo is like a app. Okay. Now, but here it should not be comparable. Comparable. It should be student employee. It should be employee. Okay, because I have taken the same way. Yeah. Wherever you find this, wherever you find this, you replace with employee. So I can use a code refactor also, guys. There is something called right click, refactor, rename. I can use employee. Like this I can do it. Okay. If I change one place, automatically it will get impacted everywhere. Done. So I can use a control F and replace all. I can do that, or I can do this way. But I don't have a compare to here. It is something like compare. It is something like compare, but I have to pass both objects here. But this is the statement itself. I don't need it. Compare method will take two. Compare method will take two things, right? So I need to pass. So now if you see the sort algorithm, your sort algorithm is expecting on what base I need to compare. I mean sort, not compare in the sense sorting. So you are giving me a student on what base I need to sort, because your student class with a student is nothing but your employee. Okay, employee list. Your employee list is not come by default which comparator or which comparable. It's not come up with that. So you have to specify explicitly. You have to specify explicitly what base you want me to compare and what base you want me to compare. What you can do here, what you can do here, you create one ID comparator id comp equal to new id comparator class. Sorry, yes. Now this id comp you can pass here while sorting. You can pass it. Okay, you pass based on this type. You're telling to your sort algorithm, because your employee does not come up with the default sorting mechanism. Your employee is not come up with the default sorting algorithm. You have to tell which sorting algorithm I need to use. So your employee is there, the default guys, do you see your employee come up with the default sorting algorithm? No. That's why we have to specify in a sort algorithm. So let's go ahead and compile this code and see. Perfectly working, perfectly sorted based on the IDs. Now all of a sudden my requirement is changed. Now the same query, same question. Now my requirement changed. No, 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 I don't want ID comparator. I want name. I want the name. So source code is not available. Let's say source code is not available. Not to worry. You create a new class. Source code is not there. Don't worry. Not a problem. I will create my own class. I will create my own class. I don't need my source code. I'm creating a new class now. I'm naming it as name comparator. I'm naming it as a name comparator. And here I don't need to write this much logic, because a name is a strings. So strings, they can easily compare themselves easily. So names, they can easily compare themselves, because the strings, as I said before, they already have a comparative method. I mean, they already have how they're comparing. Okay, here you can say return emp1 dot name dot compare to, because already it has a compare to mechanism. So anyway, compare to emp2 dot name. So it is easy, because these are the strings, right? Strings and primitive data types, they already have their own algorithm. So you know, you comparing mechanism, what is a comparing method, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, this is for id. Now let's say sort based on id, sort based on id. Now the same thing, the same code, I'm going to, nothing changes, my logic, nothing changes, right? Nothing changes. I'm just going to write something like here. The only I will come up with name comparator. I'm not going to disturb my existing, I didn't disturb my existing class, like I don't, the actual employee class, I didn't disturb actual employee class. If you remember, if you look at here, I didn't disturb, employee class. I have created my own class because I'm free to create my own class because the source code of employee class is not available. I'm very much happy to create my own class. So here I'll just say name based on, oh sorry, okay. So based on the name here now, based on the name here. Now look at guys. Now look at. Now look at guys here. Okay, I could have given some space. 1 second guys. Let me put one line in between. So otherwise it looks like, okay, I'm just putting some line so to differentiate properly. Yep, very good. So look at guys here. The first one was based on the ID. First one was based on the ID. So before based on the ID, before sorting, it was like name Kumar and all those things. Now based on the our name, it is getting sorted. The Hadoop came first, Java J2E came for next, Java came next, Kumar came next, Ravi came next, the last Vira came. Okay, all of a sudden again my requirement is changed. All of a sudden my requirement is changed. Now I want based on the salary. I want based on the salary. Very simple. You don't need to worry. You can go with another class, create another class. It can be same guys, it can be same file, it can be different file. That's what I was telling you. It can be same file, it can be different file. Specify here. You said sal comparator here. It's a sal comparator, and the logic has to change here because it's a number, right? So salary is a double primitive data type. So here you need to use the same kind of logic again. Same logic as similar as this. Same logic you need to use. Same logic because it is a number, right? So the double does not have its own compare method is not, that's a primitive data type guys. We cannot expect that as well. So it is, instead of ID, I'll say sal, sal, sal. Now what I will do, I'll go at below my application class. I'll create one more object, sal comparator, sl comp new sal comparator. Done. So go down the same way. You need to this one more time. You need this one more time. Guys, why I'm explaining this in this much detail? There is a reason for it. What is the reason? The reason is you will surely have one interview question on this. If you are saying, if you are a fresher, anyway it will be having a question. If you are experienced and you are not going to show Java experience, you may not have this question. But if you say that you know, if you say you know the core Java, you are surely get this question. You will surely get this question. Okay, what is the difference between a comparable and comparator? Comparable class will comes with a default sorting algorithm. Default sorting algorithm means the comparable class you have to provide while creating class itself, you have to provide the algorithm, sorting algorithm. But when it sorting in the sense comparable algorithm guys, comparing algorithm. When it comes to comparator, you can provide any type. So you can give any type based on the your requirement. You can give name, you can give salary, you can give department, whatever the ways you want. So now look at here, it's based on the salary. The sort is based on the salary. 1000, 1002, 1030, 10,001, and so on, 13,000 and 1 lakh. and 1 lakh. This is the comparator interface, and before one is comparable interface. Before one was comparable one is. What is the difference, guys? Can anyone tell me what is the difference? Anyone tell me what is the difference? What is the difference between the comparable interface and comparator interface?
In comparable, you can implement compare to method only once,
Mhm.
and in comparator, you can implement compare method many times.
Many times, but in the not same class. The main difference is you should say such a way that your comparable a comparable class. Comparable class means who implemented the comparable. The comparable class will comes with a default comparison mechanism, whereas the comparator class will not come with the default comparing mechanism, where we need to explicitly specify the comparison mechanism. Okay, and so the comparable interface, it's already fixed. The compare type is already fixed, because you cannot change that. Suppose it is already fixed, the comparison where the way of the comparison is already fixed. If you want to change, you have to change the source code. But when it comes to the comparator, you no need. So it is not fixed, it can keep change based on the requirement. Any doubt, guys? And comparable is from the java.lang package, and comparator is from the util package. Util package means utility package. Any doubts? Aparna, Sai, Rakesh, Raghu, Nikesh, Kishore, Harika, Ganesh, Anisha, any doubt? Kishore, అర్థమైందా? Kishore, are you able to follow? Harika?
Yes, we am.
Okay. Anisha, you?
Yes, Veera.
Right? So that's it for today, guys, and tomorrow